is two things real quick as well. Is that the issue that I have in regards to like the red pill, like I wouldn't consider myself in quotes a red pill, right? What I consider myself is the side of truth. So whatever the side of truth lays on, whether that's green pill, rainbow pill, red pill, that's the side that I'm going to stay on, because at the end of the day, there is no truth there is no label to truth. It's just truth is truth at the end of the day. So I think that's kind of the main problem with the red pill space, is that a lot of people label it as red pill, and automatically these people outside the red pill space, they think, oh, this guy's red pill. It's just like saying too, this guy's a Republican or this guy's a Democrat.
Yeah,
as soon as you label yourself as one or the other, automatically the other side's not going to want to listen to you. So to me, one thing I always say is that it doesn't matter if I'm a Democrat or if I'm a Republican. You have to see beyond it and see the words that I'm saying and see if you agree with it. So it's the same thing as well with the red pill thing as well. I think by labeling it as red pill, it automatically will push a lot of people away. And rather than saying red pill, we should more focus on the truth pill, you know what I'm saying, versus the matrix false pill.
Right now, I think that from what you said, I agree that we need to challenge all the things we're saying. We shouldn't just say it just to say it because it feels good. We should be able to challenge it. We should be able to debate it. We should be able to communicate it to other people, right? And I think that the red pill space thus far is doing a good job at doing that. So my question would be, what are some of the things that you disagree with red pill? Because I agree with 99% of the things that go on red pill. I could tell you the one thing I disagree with that I've learned by studying this space.
Yeah, man, and a lot of the stuff I do agree with the red pill, but here's the issue that I have with the red pill, in quotes, red pill community, is that a lot of them talk about going out and just fucking bitches, right? A lot of them go out and talk about having a bunch of women. You know, you can just have I think a lot of the red pill ideology is like basically that women are fucking stupid, which I think a lot of women can be stupid, and that's the same thing with men. A lot of fucking men and women can be stupid, especially in the newer generation.
Most men are stupid. Most women are stupid.
I think a lot of them are like have these bitches, and the way that we treat them is kind of like they're fucking retarded, you know. And if somebody is not at the highest IQ, then they should be treated that way too. I'm not saying that's not the case, but I think when we go and we start telling a bunch of men that you should go and fuck a bunch of bitches, then that's where it goes wrong. Because when we do that, we're training these men to be more animalistic rather than more attached to their higher self. Because if you're just focusing on busting a nut and you're just focused on that animal side of you, you're just trying to go out and you're trying to go out and spread your seed, and you're just so focused on fucking all these bitches when you got to put your attention on your fucking purpose and raising a family. It should really be, in my opinion, at the end of the day, having a wife and having a kid, because a strong nuclear family is what makes a strong fucking country. And the reason why our country's gotten so fucked up these past 50 to 60 years is because they've intentionally divided the nuclear family. They make the women like men and the men like women, and it pushes the family aside. Now, when we begin to train these other men to go out and have a bunch of different bitches and this and that, I think we're pushing away from the nuclear family, which makes an overall weak society. So for me, my core thing is making a strong society, and I don't think going up by telling a bunch of men to go and fuck a bunch of bitches is the answer to do that. I think that men should focus on. However, let me caveat and say this as well. Here's the important part, though. I'm not saying that a man shouldn't go out and learn how to pick up women. I think that's very vital. I think a man should be able to utilize that skill and go out and do that and have his moment and have his time where he is going out and fucking a bunch of bitches, you know, because he needs to be able to attain his skill both on a communication level with a woman and also on a sexual level as well. So when he does get that woman, or he does have that woman that he wants to get at, you know, his future wife, now he has the skills to go and do it both sexually and in a communication standpoint as well. So I think those are also really important as well. However, I don't think we should be training men that's the final answer. My opinion, my final answer is to have a wife and have children. That way that man can be in charge of the family, have that feminine wife, and have those kids and train them and essentially raise them with the right morals, which creates an overall strong society. So when it comes down to the red pill society or the red pill community, that's the thing that I don't necessarily agree with.
So let me from the things that I've learned from the red pill community, the thing that you said is absolutely correct. All right. What I want to debunk is the fact that I don't believe that people that truly understand red pill truly believe, hey, I just want to go treat women like dogs and just fuck all day. I think the thing that you said was a lot more red pill aware, is pretty much you need to prioritize your money first, all right? Then build that confidence, go talk to women, put yourself in those situations, get experience from dealing with several different women so that you're better able to choose the woman that you want to be with, right? You're able to basically see, from the first 3 relationships, guess what? One of them was too alpha, the other one was too promiscuous, right? And then the third one, now you know what? I can better choose a feminine woman that's nurturing, that's caring, because I've dealt, and I know how to lead her because I've dealt with all these other girls that I've had problems with. I've learned from it, and now I'm able to better maintain my relationship, right? That's the idea that I see Red Pill spreading. The exact point that you're making, I don't see them spreading the, oh, just fuck women to fuck women and don't think about it regardless. Like, remember, I think Red Pill promotes a lot of critical thinking as well and challenging your ideas. So if you're out here dogging all these girls, right, like, you're going to feel empty. And if you're not putting your money first, then what is the whole point of doing that in the first place? Yeah. Right? So I think that like you say you disagree with it, but I think you actually heavily agree with it, because I don't see in the Red Pill space guys saying like, oh yeah, just go fuck a bunch of girls just to fuck them. Like, they back it up with exactly what you just said. And it makes a lot of sense.
I would push back on you a little bit and say that like, for example, I'm pretty sure Rolo, whatever, I don't really know him that much, or whatever the case may be. From what I understand, some of the videos I've watched, he's kind of pushing that premise as well. It's because, well, and I have, dude, there's a bunch of books that I can say too, but what it boils down to is that men and women are wired biologically different, right? Women get pregnant, they hold a baby for 9 months, where the man can go and spread his seed everywhere. That's where the man gets, so he has such high testosterone and wants to fuck all the time, is because he's genetically wired to spread his seed as much as possible to create offspring. Exactly. Now, there's where the argument comes in on the Red Pill side, is that since a man is wired differently, he can therefore have a bunch of women. And I haven't seen, like, for example, Elliot, I forget his name, Elliot something, he's the only person that I've seen that actually talks about having a wife and kids. But everybody else, Myron and fucking the Fresh and Fit podcast, however, their content is really good, they don't talk about, having one wife and having a wife and kids and raising a family. They talk about picking up a bunch of bitches, having a roster of bitches, spinning plates. That's kind of their main thing. They don't talk about, spinning plate. They don't even say this, because this is what I think. Spin some fucking plates, get 5-10 on your roster, whatever. But experience that. That way now you can kind of put that to the side, and you get to experience that as a man. And now you can have that one woman, dedicate yourself to that one woman, and she has to be a special girl because of a high value man. You don't want to pick no bum bitch off the fucking street that's not gonna raise not be a good mother. But they don't say that. They don't say that. They just say keep spinning plates to the day you fucking die, rather than finding a woman to raise a family with.
Here's the thing: is do you truly believe in monogamy?
I do.
This is the polygamy monogamy.
I think with the right core values. I think with the right core values, monogamy can work.
I agree.
Okay, I agree too, but honestly, I'm gonna tell you, I'm in a relationship, bro, and I told my girl straight up, I don't believe in monogamy. Like, I don't. Like, I am loyal to her now, but guess what? Like, I want to have a threesome, you know what I'm saying? Like, I enjoy you, but like, eventually I'm gonna want another girl, you know what I'm saying? The biggest thing that I think you're right, that Red Pill does push a lot of polygamy. The thing is that it should have core values behind why you're doing it. What I've seen in certain religions, right, is like they'll have 4 wives. They're not pushing, oh yeah, go have 4 wives. They're like, you have to provide as a man for each and every single wife. You get what I'm saying? So when it comes to like rosters and like, I think rosters are good for when you're young. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of women are flaky, right? So it makes sense for you to have a roster, because guess what? You work so hard. Right? And then you have your Friday that you kept open to go out on a date to meet a girl, and then guess what? She flakes. So guess what? It's good for you to have 10 different girls set up for that night. Flake on the 9 of them, give them a little bit of
emotional damage.
You know what I'm saying? Affect their ego a little bit. And then guess what? They're more likely to respond to you next time because you slacked on them, and then you gave this one girl a chance. And you could go in there with a lot more confidence. So I think that's where the roster, you could utilize it towards your advantage. Now, you could obviously be a degenerate and take advantage of it, and that's abusing your power, right? With great power comes great responsibility, right? So it's like you have to understand the strategies that you're using and how to be ethical and responsible with it, right? Towards bettering your life, towards your self-growth.
Yeah, man. And a man, too, I mean, the reason why the roster is also important as well, to have that, or have, here's the thing, is having the capability to have that and experience it is really important, because what it does for the man is it puts the man in abundance. Versus when this man is so trying to get one bitch, and he's struggling just to get one bitch in fucking 3 to 5 years, then he's gonna have the scarcity mindset, and he's gonna become a simp for her. She's not gonna like that on a genetic basis. She's not gonna want a fucking bitch as a man, and you're gonna start exhibiting these scarcity mindset things with her, and then she's not gonna fucking want to fuck with you. Then she ends up fucking you over, breaking up with you, going with a different guy who shows more masculine traits, and you get pissed off. So exactly. I think that's more of like the, in quotes, blue pill side as well, going down that entire route. I do not think like this fairy tale fucking Disney Channel ideologies, fuck all that, you know. But at the same time, to push back on what you said about the three-way thing, this is what I mean to kind of go back and kind of touch back on what I was saying is that I think as men, especially as younger men in our younger 20s, throughout our entire 20s, we should be able to do that. Have a fucking threesome, have a foursome, have a bunch of bitches. But let me ask you this too, is that now let's just say that you have a wife that you truly love and you have 2-3 kids that you truly love. Are you going to know if your kids are there knowing that you're going to bring in another woman and basically have fucking sex with her and it's going to be you, your mom, or their mother and another woman? Wouldn't you say that's disrespectful to your kids?
So, no, and like you said, there has to be core values and rules set in place, right? So it's like, hey, if I'm just trying to get a fun nut because I wanna do something spicy, I wanna do something different, I'm not gonna talk to the kids about it. What? Get out of here, get your own, bro. No, but like that would be one of my things is that I would not let anybody know. That's between me and my girl, right? And like our experience that we've shared together, like that's the way I would view that. As far as, you know, if I bring another girl into my house with other kids, right, I would want my girl to be on board with that first and foremost, right? Because I don't want to have two women like stressing me out because they didn't agree to something and I'm forcing them into something. You get what I'm saying? Like that's terrible. That's awful. The guy shouldn't do that. Guys shouldn't abuse their power like that. So, you know, like I said, this is all with critical thinking. It's all just thinking about the person you're with, right? They're helping you. Your woman is your support system. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to fuck her over. You don't want to lie to her. You want to be open, honest, and transparent with her about all the things that you desire and the things that you want. And you know, whether you've earned them or not, that's on you and how you communicate that. So, yeah, like that's my thing. It's like if I'm going to bring another girl in, my girl's got to be on board with it. My kids got to know about it. They don't got to be on board with it. They just got to know about it, right? And then I got to be able to provide for both of them. And I'm leading by example, showing them that it works. Yeah. Right? If I'm taking on a girl just because I feel greedy, just because I want two girls, and I'm not making money like that, I can't provide for both of them, then I just look like an idiot, and it's all going to collapse.
Yeah, I mean, I think too, what's important that we bring up and also address as well is that obviously men and women are different. They're wired differently, right? Yes. So when a woman goes and fucks another guy, it's not the same. We both know this. It's not the same as a man going out and fucking another woman, right? Because the woman has to be more emotionally involved. We've heard this before. The woman to get sexually aroused is like a dial versus a man is like a light switch. So a man can go and bust a nut with another bitch and not feel a connection with her. He doesn't fucking want to provide for her. He's just looking to get his edge off. With a woman, it takes much more emotional investment for her to actually go and have sex with a man, odds are. So I understand that there's also a difference between men and women and when it comes down to sex. Now, what I can push back on you with that as well is that now I understand too, like you're saying your wife's on board and the thing is this is that I mean, would you want your daughter to see that too? You're setting an example for your daughter that it's okay for her and her man to have a three-way with another woman. I just can't imagine my daughter going out with a man and she's allowing that man, or it's okay for her to have sex with her and another woman and that man. To me, it's more about, it's sacred. To me, sex is sacred when it comes down to a family relationship. So if I'm looking to raise a family, right, with my wife and kids, my sexual energy is sacred to my woman. I don't want to be going and fucking a bunch of different bitches. Although my genetics tell me I want to, I'm going to be sexually attracted to a bunch of different women. It's my responsibility to be able to discipline myself, not be a fucking animal, yes, and keep my nut to myself or for my woman. And I don't think it's training my kids, my son, or my daughter the right way, because I don't think we should be introducing outside people inside of our family. Our family structure is so sacred. My mother, your mother, and me are very, very sacred to our family structure. So I don't want my fucking kids coming and seeing me fuck other bitches. You know, it's just, to me, it doesn't feel like a strong family structure. And if anything, you're kind of telling your kids and showing your kids that it's not, the sexual relationship isn't so important. You know, you can go out and be expressive the way that you want when you're committed to each other. You know what I'm saying? I know what you're saying. You're saying that it's a lot harder to maintain and manage those kinds of relationships. They can become very fickle, right? It can basically break down pretty easily. Another thing that you mentioned about your daughter, like for me, I align more with what you're saying. Like if I were to bring another girl in, it would be behind closed doors, me and my girl, my family knowing about that, my kids ain't knowing about that, like unless it's a fun story time, whatever. Like but I'm not really pushing that on them, right? And again, it's communicated between me and my girl. My girl's not forced on it. Now, for the guy that does want to have like different women or whatever, and how you said it would affect like if he had a daughter, it would. The way I would see it is you're leading by example. So if you truly believe that you want to have
to several different women, and you believe, hey, I'm going to take care of each and every one of these girls, right? You know, like, I would have no problem if I was that guy raising my daughter to be like, hey, listen, this is what I did as your father, but guess what? You know, I've always treated you well. I've spoiled you. You know exactly how a man is supposed to treat you because I treated you that way. I raised you, right? So guess what? When I'm going to pass you on, or when you're going to choose another guy, right? If he's a brokey, you know, if he's a bum and you want to take a chance on him, that's on you. Go for it. I'm not going to sit here and support you. That guy's going to support you, right? Now, if the other guy got money and he's taking care of all his girls, and she's like, hey, this is, you know, like, I want to be with this guy, I'll be like, go for it. He's going to take care of you? That's great. You know what I'm saying? He's going to treat you well, just like me? That's great. He got respect from me? Cool. I don't mind him having four or five different other girls, you know what I'm saying? Like, as long as it's communicated properly and as long as he's treating her right and providing for her. Because why would I want my girl to deal with a bunch of broke guys that are lying to her, screwing her over, giving her more emotional damage, when there's that one rich dude who already knows he wants her, wants to put a baby in that, and is going to provide for her? You know what I'm saying? Like, I would have no problem letting my daughter go to that guy over the guy that's broke, that, like, is probably going to lie to her and cheat on her anyways.
But why does the guy have to be broke though? Like, why can't he be rich and just want one?
Yeah.
woman?
Well, like I said, no, she could go for that guy, and she's taking a risk, and it's like, that's her choice to make. You know,
I
what
feel
I'm
like you
saying?
should try to teach her to strive for like the best.
That's what I
But
said.
no, but I mean
Strive
personally,
for the best, the guy that got the money, the guy that's able to provide for each one of his girls. That's the guy who got it.
money's
From your point
important,
of
but
view
I
as well,
think
what you're-
families, like he
what
said,
you're
like
saying-
family's sacred.
What you're saying is, my bad. What you're saying is that it's because the internet here, man. I don't know what's going on. Anyways, nonetheless, what you're saying, man, is that every successful man who actually has wealth, in your argument, what you're essentially stating is that every successful man that has wealth is gonna want to fuck a bunch of bitches. You know, he's not gonna want to be dedicated to one woman.
Not
Now,
every
what I can tell
successful
you
man,
is
but most. Overwhelmingly,
I mean,
most.
that's the argument too that the red pill space makes, but I disagree with that. I think that there's a lot of successful men that just want one woman, and I think what's important is this, right? I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think that if a man wants to have multiple women, wants to have multiple wives that he can provide for, I think that's totally fine. That's completely cool. However, where I'm coming from, my main thing is raising a family, a proper family structure. That's my core value. And my core thing is having a right childhood and having a strong family. And I don't fucking think that a man who has a bunch of fucking wives and a bunch of kids with these wives can really raise a proper fucking strong family.
It's not easy. It's not applicable for every guy. It's definitely not. I completely agree with you on that.
And my argument, because I agree with you, and I think that if a man and a woman want to do that, they fucking go do that. You know, I think that's completely cool. However, I don't think it's something that we should be telling everybody that we shouldn't be promoting that as a standard, because I think what the standard should be for the country is a strong man, a strong woman, and strong children. Not a bunch of fucking wives that are kind of ditzy and they don't give a fuck, and the guy's fucking a bunch of other bitches or whatever the fuck. I think the kids will see that, and they're going to be raised in that way, when the kids should be raised with a strong mother and a strong father, so they can have strong ethics and strong core values, and they take that, and there's going to be a bunch of these people like that into all of society. So I don't think it's right for us to train these men in our generation now to say that if they want to go and fuck a bunch of bitches, and there's going to be a point in time where I'm going to be fucking a bunch of bitches too. What I'm saying though is that I'm not saying that's wrong. What I'm saying is that when it comes down to the end result, the end goal, I think it's important for there to be a man, a woman, and children. And that being a dedication, sole nuclear family is what's vital to the structure of the country. And that's what I care about the most, is the structure and foundation of a strong country and strong people.
I completely agree with what you said, is that it shouldn't be a standard. And I don't think the red pill community is trying to make it a standard, because you have to be able to earn the ability to do that. You know what I'm saying? You have to earn it. You got to make money. You got to be able to provide for everybody. You got to be able to provide a good lifestyle for your wife and the kids that she may have. You know what I'm saying? You have, like, that is very, very hard. That is a few men are able to truly achieve that. So that's something that's earned. That's not a standard. So I completely agree with you that the best way that's going to work for society is exactly what you said, is being able to maintain one woman, being able to raise a family with that woman. Like, those are things that I completely agree with, and that's how my relationship is based off of, right? Like, I'm playing with the debate. I'm just showing you the other side that you already know, obviously, of the high value guy who essentially how his lifestyle would work in a polygamous situation. But I don't think Red Pill is promoting that standard. It's just promoting that knowledge.
Well, I would say yes, they're promoting that knowledge, but you don't hear anybody in the red pill space saying what we just discussed right
Yeah,
now. So
that's
I would
facts.
argue that they are promoting that, and that's kind of the frame of reference that they're going for, because
Mm-hmm.
that in their instance and their ideology and their belief is that that's what they say a high value man is. And I can make an argument and say that a high value man is a man who has the capability of doing that, but decides not to and decides to stay dedicated to one woman. At the end of the day, who's making the fucking definitions of what a high value man is? Now, I don't think Myron, I don't think people on Fresh and Fit, however, they have these points, and I think it's once again all true that we should be able to have multiple women, this and that. I don't think their main basis, their thought isn't going towards we should raise a strong country. We should raise a strong family, a strong country. That's not where they're coming from. They're
I
coming
think they
from,
are
I'm just
coming
trying to
from
fuck
that.
a bunch of bitches or whatever the case may be.
Nah, I don't think they're pushing
Whereas
that.
my mentality and my thoughts are coming from, we need to figure out a way to make people fucking strong again. Because the reason why we've gotten so fucked up as a society is because we've destroyed the nuclear family. We no longer have a man. We no longer have the woman married. And fuck marriage, too. I think marriage is a bunch of bullshit. It's just the government telling you to be fucking committed to somebody. I think that's a bunch of bullshit. But the point is having that strong mom, that strong mother figure, the strong father figure, and raising the right children. And the red pill when I haven't heard anybody really say that in the in quotes red pill space, which is the problem that I have.
Yeah.
However, I think that these conversations that the red pill community does have is 100% valid as well. But when it comes down to raising a right country with strong people and strong ethics and core values, I think that we should start introducing into the conversation, we need to raise a strong family structure.
I think you're absolutely right. I think that the red pill space could do a better job at doing that, absolutely for sure. I don't know how much of Fresh and Fit you've seen. I've seen a vast majority of a lot of their different ones with women, without women, and I don't believe that their ideology is pretty much to tell a bunch of guys to like just go fuck women thoughtlessly. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
A lot of the things that I'm
so.
speaking about, I've learned from Fresh and Fit, Andrew Tate, like Sneeko, like the most popular people on the red pill space. Rollo Tomasi too. So that's why I'm able to kind of articulate in that way, because I can see it from their point of view.
So let me just say this too real quick, is that we have to take into consideration, right, where these people are coming from. Like, Andrew Tate has a lot of truth to what he says, right? However, let's look at Andrew Tate's life. Was he raised with a strong mother and a father, a mother and father structure? Well, I know that his father was a really strong influence to him, and he was a really strong father figure. However, his mother and his father were split apart. And he, like he says too, if I remember correctly, he's saying about his mom talking to his dad talking to other women, this and that. So he wasn't raised in that strong family structure of having a strong mother and a strong father together. Mm-hmm. So now that's transmuted into where he's at today, talking about what he's promoting, which is talking to a bunch of women and this and that, whatever the case may be. Once again, it's not incorrect, but I also think we have to take into consideration the context of where the person is coming from and seeing their background, and we can say, okay, they're coming from this background, and this is the reason why they're giving these ideologies. And this is what I say too, is that this is how it works in business, right? Is that the way that a businessman can really dominate a marketplace is by identifying a missing link in the market. And I think one of the missing links in the red pill market is the phrasing of the strong family structure. And this is what I mean about labeling it as red pill, is where the problem comes in, because now once you're labeled as red pill, you have to take in that now everything in the red pill space is completely true. You get what I'm saying? Once you identify as that red pill.
Yeah.
I think there's something to be said about just being truthful overall. Now, last thing I'll say about that is the same thing with Sneeko. He doesn't talk about raising a strong family structure. So of course he's gonna be saying he's hanging out with Tate and who is super dope. I fuck with all that. Once again, I fuck with everything Tate says and Fresh and Fit and red pill space. I fuck with all of it. I've been watching it for a long time. However, I also once again think it's important to take into consideration and context where their ideologies are coming from. And I don't fully align with us going and I think it's okay to go and fuck a bunch of bitches, but our end goal at the end of the day, it should be to, as men, should be to raise a strong family at the end of the day, and that's where the missing link is in the red pill space.
I think what you're saying, I think the red pill space is. I know the red pill space is actually evolving in the exact direction in which you're talking about. Because Sneeko himself, he's growing. He's young, bro. You know, he's young. He's learning. He's growing older. As he's growing older, as you watch the live streams, he openly talks about like the problems he faces and like how he sees things more in the way that you see things. You know, you can see Andrew Tate. Andrew Tate is now more like religious. You know what I'm saying? He's trying to find those core sets of beliefs that may have been missing in his life prior when he was younger. You know, I think he puts a lot of thought into all the things he says and the way in which he manages and runs his life. Obviously, we shouldn't sit here and take the way that Andrew Tate lives, Fresh and Fit lives, or Sneeko lives and apply everything to our lives. we should be able to take certain nuggets of information, obviously think critically about it, challenge it, and see where it fits in our lives, and we're able to build off that, right?
Yes.
So I think that the red pill space is a good fundamental layer, fundamental place to learn how to be a man. Because I don't know where else I would see that shit on YouTube.
Totally
You
agree.
know what I'm saying? Like with the truth, with the hard truth, the things people want to censor. You know what I'm saying? They're pretty much the uncensored version of that, and they've been banned
Yeah.
for it. So it just goes to show how much truth, how truthful it is.
Yeah, and what's important too is that whatever consumer's watching overall is that, just like you were saying, we have to take in, we see these people and what they're saying, but it's not, their life isn't our life at the end of the day. We have to see how our core values and where we want to take our life align with that, and be able to have our own critical thinking as well. Just because somebody says it online doesn't make it 100% fucking true. You got to be able to see it, ask yourself questions, and see both sides, and then make up your own decision.
Facts.
So I think a lot of people come over here and they watch these different people, and now all of a sudden they are that version of whoever that influencer is. Now they're that fucking, they put on that suit of that particular influencer, and now they are that influencer themselves, when it shouldn't be that way. It should, I'm listening to these people to hear new thoughts and new ideas, then I ask myself through critical thinking, do I align with this, why or why not? Why do I agree with it? Why do I not agree with it? Then you come up to your own conclusions, and it's important for, especially as a fucking man, that you educate yourself overall. Don't just take all your information from online. Find mentors, find coaches, and read a bunch of fucking books. That way you can have your own mind space. And especially as an influencer like us, and we're on the come up, right, is that we can't, by regurgitating what everybody else says, and we don't know what the fuck we're saying, and we're just saying because everybody else says it and it sounds good, we're going to be like everybody else. So we have to separate ourselves from the marketplace, from these other people. We have to have our own thoughts. And when we do that, we automatically separate ourselves from everybody else. And on top of that, we do it from an organic way of who we are. We're not playing a character. We're not fucking acting. We are who we are. So organically, we're going to start attracting those right people and having the right influence in the space that we want to actually have an influence on.
Great. And then that was a WS speech, bro. You're absolutely right. So let me pivot the conversation. Because I do have some people asking questions here. Here it says, Gio asks,